Off one of the best practices of the year at City National Arena. A lot of energy on the ice as we welcome you into nighttime at noon on Fox Sports Las Vegas from City National Arena inside Studio 31. Daren Millard along with former BGK defenseman Deryk Engelland. We actually spent some time this morning, Deryk, running through the list. You, Shane Natty, Dave Gosher. We're going like who's out in the ice, who's not in the ice, who's out for the Golden Knights longer term, and we're writing down the numbers. We're going through, and it amazes me that numbers still pop up as we go to air. You're pointing out another name that we may have forgot that is out for the Vegas Golden Knights, but they come off the game. That remarkable comeback against the Chicago Blackhawks on Saturday with the return of Alec Martinez. So there's so much positivity, even with the names that are out, as the Golden Knights climb back into a playoff position, won 5 in a row at home, and that just felt like one of those wins that can turn a season around.
Yeah, I don't want to say it was a must win, but it was pretty darn close to that. The first two periods defensively, a couple guys back in lineup. White Cloud missed a little bit of time being on COVID, but Martinez 3 months, 4 months. How long has he been out? A long time. So, a little bit of
50-plus games.
Yeah, a little bit of rust there, but being down 3 goals coming into the third, I watched the intermission with Messi and them talking. They were almost counting the Knights out, dismissing them from playoffs. And, I don't know what was said in the locker room, but it got him fired up.
You know a little bit about what was said in the locker room, I'm sure.
I don't.
It sounded like Alec Martinez had a speech,
and
then finished it off with a little bit of humor and that's coming from a guy that's been out of the lineup for 4.5 months, which is kind of funny. It sounded like it lightened the mood a little bit.
Yeah, it's just getting him back, not only what he does on the ice, but, his presence in the room, his calming factor on the blue line. I think it's going to pay dividends coming down this stretch. His experience, his veteran, his voice with the young guys, Coughlin, he can, settle things down when needed.
5 in a row at home. Lots been made about what's happened on the road recently, but boy, have they been able to flip a switch at T-Mobile Arena. Coming off the convincing win over the Nashville Predators and being able to pull out that victory on Saturday. I don't know, did you see anything different in the third period, or the puck just fall?
I think it just... I think Chicago's a fragile team. They know how to lose this year. They, maybe sitting back a little bit, but the speech, they come out fired and they get that first goal, and then it's you could see them up their game, and you could almost see the gripping of the stick on the other side, which is exactly what you want to see in a situation like that for the Knights. So they poured it on and kept coming in waves. Then Chicago, gets the fourth goal, and what I like the best is they didn't deflate. They just kept going, and they scored under a minute later. So hats off to them for not deflating after that fourth goal and just keep moving forward.
Well, that the goal by Chandler that got things going, I would say, is one that Lankinen would like to stop. and would stop a large percentage of the time. Having one of those go for you must just give you a little bit of, hey, this might be our day, instead of all the ones that they've had good looks and don't go.
Yeah, especially you look at those guys. You know, Steve-O's, I think, a couple goals in the last 15 games or so. You know, for one of those to go in, it's refreshing. You know, get them going, get those top six guys going. When anytime they can get their goal or assist, they start feeling good, and things start coming in bunches. So, you know, he's had those shots before that they're not going in, but to get one, I think that lifts the spirit up a little bit, gets them feeling it a little bit more, and they're going to keep moving forward with that.
So, were you a big dressing room speech guy? Stand up and say a lot at times like Saturday?
Not big speeches like that. I was more of the quiet, I guess, try to lead on the ice. You know, you'd say things for sure, but not the big speeches like, you know, a guy like Marty, I think, probably made or did make.
Who was a player that you remember making a speech like that over the course of your career, where somebody stood up and took control of the room like that? Because we always think it would be the captain, or a lot of times it's not the
no,
the
well, especially nowadays,
Yeah.
captains are so young. You know, some guys, they you know, just personality-wise, you know, you have those guys that talk, and you know, it's I guess it's some guys that you hear they're silent all the time, but when they talk, and I guess that's you know, some people said that was me. I was very quiet, but when I talked, guys would listen, and I think Marty has that same effect. He might talk a little bit more than I did, but when he does talk, I think that whole room will listen to a guy like that.
Does it feel like Jack's turned a corner now from just getting his feet wet, and it was producing points, to now, man, he looks as confident as we've seen him?
Yeah, the passes he's making, you know, they go back to the first year where Marching, Carly, and those guys were having that success. They did that stuff a little bit, but he's doing it every power play. You know, that's when his ability to pass, and then you look at his goal. You know, he seam passes, and they all of them made it through. None of them got picked off. And then he walks the seam and scores a goal. So you can see how gifted he is out there, passing and shooting. You know, he walks around a guy, puts it low blocker side for his goal, but before that he's saucing across the ice, and you know, could add some more assists if other guys buried those.
Tweet us at Daren Millard or Vegas Golden Knights Twitter account, and let us know if you have any questions, comments. You just want to compliment Deryk Engelland on whatever you want to compliment Deryk Engelland on. Give us your thoughts. Let us know what you're doing today and where you're driving around or where you're listening from. I want to get to today's practice and what happened on the ice today. Matthias Janmark and Alex Pietrangelo were not on the ice, maintenance days for them, so just want to get that out there. Braden McNabb and Robin Lehner were on the ice. McNabb in that baby blue non-contact sweater, and Robin Lehner played the full practice.
Yeah, it was, you know, they had, I don't know, Patera out there. Sorry, bad with names. Out there just in case, but it was good to see Lenny make it through the whole thing. You know, it wasn't, they weren't taking it easy on him, and it was good to see him back out there, and Nabber just getting into the flow of things. You know, baby blue, he doesn't want any contact or anything like that, but it was good to see him out there. And for the other two guys, I can see maintenance day for a guy like Petro the rest of the way. He plays such big minutes, and he's going to have to play even bigger minutes, you know, down the stretch, as these points, you know, every 2 points is huge. So I can see him playing, you know, north of 25 every single night, which he does, but, right. You know, closing closer to 30 on some nights, I'm sure.
Daren Millard, Deryk Engelland here in Studio 31. They will practice tomorrow and then fly off to Seattle before facing the Seattle Kraken on Wednesday and then Friday. So back-to-back in Seattle with a day off in between, and then finish off the 3-game road trip in Vancouver against the Canucks on Sunday. As far as the players that were not on the ice today and are considered long-term, this is where things get jumbled around because you think you've got all the numbers and then another name pops into your head. Riley Smith not out there, Max Pacioretty, Mark Stone, Nolan Patrick, Brett Howden, William Carrier, Laurent Brossoit, and Nick Hague. Carrier is a new addition to that list. Couldn't finish the game the other night and doesn't sound like it's going to be anytime soon from Pete DeBoer's media conference today.
Yeah, it's tough. I've liked Carrier's game, especially over the last 2 months. Talking to George, that fourth line when Howden, Carrier, and Kolzar, they had a lot of zone time. They work hard down there. They hold on to pucks. They take it to the net hard, and they're getting rewarded with goals. And when that depth scoring plays a factor, they were a big part of that. A lot of those road trips. That's where their production was coming from. Is the bottom six guys.
Unbelievable. You think Alec Martinez is back, so things are turning a corner. You get a big name back, and he is a big name. And even if he's not 100%, he looked good. It took a little bit probably to get his timing back. I'm sure. I can't imagine what it would be like jumping right in. But there's still like 8 regulars out of the lineup right now, and which is conflicting to thinking that you might be turning a corner and getting some guys back.
Yeah, you got to think some of these. It was good to see Naber and Leonard back out there. So that's a sign in the right direction, I guess. That they're getting closer. So to get those 2 guys back, McNabb, a lot like Marty, plays that defensive, physical. Marty's got a little bit more offensive side, but he's a guy you want out there killing your penalties, his first over the boards, and puts his body on the line and makes it difficult on those top guys. You got to always have your head on the swivel. When Naber's out there on the rush, he throws out the big hits. So if he can get back here soon, that's another huge addition.
Pete said they haven't decided whether both McNabb and Leonard will go on the road trip. That'll be decided after practice tomorrow before they get on the plane. But if McNabb goes on the road trip and he does return at some point in the next little bit, boy, that's all but Nick Hague back in among your regular defensemen, which is a big switch from a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's huge, especially, like I said, you get Martinez and Naber, 2 of your, top stay-at-home, well, not stay-at-home, but defensive guys that sacrifice their body Marty.
PK, right?
PK, block shots every which way he can, and Naber's no different. He's putting his body on the line every shift, blocking shots, playing a big physical game, and they're going to need that coming down the stretch here and moving hopefully forward into the playoffs.
Boy, you heard a little bit from Alec Martinez after the game on Saturday and didn't want to walk everybody through the entire journey since he suffered the laceration and has been out of the lineup, but it was good to hear him talk again. We haven't heard him just been around him to hear him speak, and the relief that must have been going through, because he admitted there was moments where it did cross his mind, wondering whether that was going to be the turning point of his career.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things that he did miss weird with the cut and everything, but until he's back out there, he's not completely normal. Right. It's you can do as much as you can off the ice and stuff like that, but you're still thinking about it all the time. And it was great to see him just out there. I think his minutes weren't his normal ones, but just to see him back out there and getting back to normality for him is probably a good thing mentally for himself. Just getting back into that groove of things and contributing on the ice and feeling good about his decision.
And we don't know the details of what he was battling or recovering from, but he practiced for so long, and he's been in front of us for so long. We haven't been able to talk to him, but he's been present, and you keep wondering, because all of a sudden they show up in practice and we get used to, okay, 3 practices, you're in, 2 practices, you're in. It hasn't been that case. So there's obviously been things that have gotten in the way of his return, but also I'm sure caused some frustration for him and some deep thinking and reflection.
Yeah, I can always speak on what I think. I missed some time playing, nothing like that, and nothing with my head or anything like that. So I can imagine the frustration, like you said. But yeah, it was probably a big relief for him to get out there, get through the game, and know, okay, I'm all right. I can do this, and get back to that normalcy for him mentally. You practice every day, and over the course of summer, as you're practicing training for, it gets old. And so missing 50 games, you're thinking about it all the time when I can get back, and just the relief I think that he got from getting out there and having a good game and being back in that locker room with the guys. That's what it's all about, and to get back to the normalcy I think will help moving forward too.
There was one other return that I forgot about until right now, because I was thinking about Alec Martinez and being out there and going back to some of the plays and some of the drills that they were doing and conversations that he was having, and he skated around and he talked to Pete DeBoer for a while. But Ryan McGill, the coach of the defensemen, and I blame you because you should pick up on Ryan McGill being back.
I'm just reading my stats here.
From COVID.
There's no Gilly on this list.
There was no Gilly on that list, but good to have him back off COVID protocol and to have Ryan out there. So there's one, Alec Martinez feeling great about himself, so you know that he's going to be vocal out there. He always is. A great bolt of energy. And then you know what Ryan McGill is like during a practice.
Yeah, he's always out there bringing the fun. Even on the bench during the games, it's I loved playing for him. He's
what do you mean when he says when you say bring the fun? What's he doing?
Oh, everything's fun. Like he's kind of like I tried when I was out there. I tried to chirp guys and make practice a little more upbeat, and even if it's screaming across the ice, just so guys are up in their spirits a little bit, especially when times are tough. It's sometimes nice to bring that fun and joy, and Gilly always does that. His drills, it's not like he's out there just blowing whistles and bagging you. He's making drills fun, even when you're getting your work involved. It's fun, and he's always joking around with you. So
we'll get into practice and what they did today on the ice, and a little bit about Pete DeBoer's post-game or post-practice media conference, some of the highlights from that, what the head coach had to pass our way as far as knowledge. Craigie Range is the perfect place to enjoy a pregame or post-game meal, or come to watch your Knights on one of the Craigie Range big screen TVs, the huge outdoor LED screen. Enjoy your favorite craft beer, wine, bourbon, or all kinds of cocktails while you catch the action. You can find a full menu for the whole family, plus a full bar with 16 beer taps. Craigie Range at the Dollar Loan Center, and even features an extended patio. The Craigie Range Sports Bar and Grill is open daily, no ticket required. Check it out. It's got one of those little bar places where you just put your beer and it's frozen, so it keeps your beer cool from the bottom up. It's awesome. Check it out today at the Dollar Loan Center. We'll be back with practice details today as we continue nighttime at noon on Fox Sports Las Vegas. City National Arena inside Studio 31, just after the Golden Knights complete practice. It was a day off yesterday, practice today. They'll practice again tomorrow before flying off to Seattle to face the Kraken on Wednesday. First of two games against the Seattle Kraken. Daren Millard along with Deryk Engelland getting things done here, bringing you up to date in the Vegas Golden Knights. Also a little bit around the National Hockey League. So the Golden Knights go through their workout today, worked on some defensive zone, some neutral zone stuff, a little more detail there.
Yeah, I think they were working on the puck changing sides and the switches, instead of having your centerman going from one corner all the way to the other corner and getting there late, the winger, it all shifts. One winger goes down low, the other winger replaces him, centerman just comes up, so it's a lot less distance traveled, and you can hop on pucks and, get out of your zone a lot quicker.
There's a lot going on in those drills and systems. How long does it take you to be able to do that seamlessly in your head without thinking about it?
I think the guys are probably there now, but it's just a refresher. Maybe they're let it slip in the last few games a little bit, so you just sharpen up. Just give them a mental note that we got to be better at that thing, and they did that today. So I'm sure, it's second nature. They're going to just do it.
Pete said today that they are focused on the small picture. That means period to period, game to game, get your 2 points, and then move on to the next. That is the focus, and we're used to that. That's a hockey talk or professional sports talk. But then he did let us know that that they, as a group today, after the video session, discussed the bigger picture, and that's 14 games left, and Pete dropped this, that they probably have to win 9 or 10 games down the stretch here in these 14 games. And it's a lot more unusual that they would discuss that that view from 20,000 feet and what they have to do.
Yeah, a lot of coaches, I think, you don't always look at the big picture like you said, but some coaches that I've played for break it down the whole season into 7-game segments, just like playoffs. You win four of 7. That's pretty good. You win 5 of 7. That's really good. So it's a little bit bigger pie, I guess. But 14 games left. You got to win probably more like you said, 9 or 10 games just to get into that. They're projecting 93 points will be the cutoff for playoffs.
So the switch in bringing the big picture into play, is that to challenge the guys a little bit, or give them a goal to aspire to, or where's the rationale, the reasoning there?
I don't know. For me, saying that and looking at the next 3-game road trip, they're must-wins against bottom teams. Not you always say it. You can't lose to the teams that aren't in the playoffs or that are below you, and they're coming in with 2 against Seattle that I feel are must-win games. There's no easy games. They're going to come out hard, and they're playing for next year, contracts, everything. But those are 2 must-win games for the Knights, and then Vancouver's only 3 points behind with a game in hand. So that's another must-win. I think those teams that are in the playoff hunt with them are definitely must-win games.
Next 6 for the Vegas Golden Knights. If you can read a schedule, you know this. But for a refresher, Seattle twice, Vancouver 3 times, and then Arizona. That is like the grain's ripe, and you're ready to just combine the wheat down. It's there for you, but you can't afford a malfunction on the combine.
Yeah, you can't take these teams lightly. We've been saying it a lot lately. The team definitely gets up for the big teams coming in. You look at the Florida game, Nashville, and then they had a little bit of a hiccup. I don't want to say a hiccup the first couple periods against Chicago, against a lower team, but
no, there's some indigestion there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But they can't have that. They need these points, and especially you can basically put Vancouver out of the playoffs with those 3 wins, because that's that's 12-point difference right there, those 3 wins. So you can knock one of the teams out that's chasing you, not knock them out, but definitely put a big distance between you.
So as dire as things appeared to be, and you mentioned the broadcast on ABC, and it's great to have national television on the full ABC network on Saturday with Vegas and Chicago, and it was the tone of what Chelios and Mess were talking about with Steve Levy was really this is a turning point in the bad for Vegas, having been up against that wall and that moment, and Alec Martinez coming out with a big speech and turning. Does that heighten or make them better prepared to handle Seattle, twice Vancouver, like these teams that are below you in the standings, where they've struggled in those situations lately?
Yeah, I think having a guy like Marty back is a big boost for that. Yes, he's practicing and stuff, but during a game he can give a speech, and like I said, those guys that don't usually talk. I'm not saying Marty doesn't talk, but when he's talking about something like that, there's probably not a guy in there that's saying, not even breathing heavy, because they're listening to a guy like that. So getting him back against these teams, and another thing I think is nice, you're not going from one of the bottom teams to a top team where you're having that roller coaster. You're smooth sailing it. You can play Seattle twice. Hopefully you get 4 points there, going to Vancouver, and hopefully wrap up the road trip with 3 wins and then get ready for the next 3.
It's almost like you've looked the devil in the face. You were one-on-one with him, and you don't want to be back there in that situation. So there's no excuse not to have the urgency that's been lacking in the previous road games against the Winnipegs or Buffaloes and Philadelphia's.
Yeah,
even though they played well in a couple of those games,
yeah,
and had shot share.
Yeah, it was. I've liked their game. I think they're a little more desperation the last few games than they were on that road trip here. When they go 0-5, I think they were out shooting teams, getting looks, but I think the desperation is starting to creep in, which they need down the stretch. Guys, little things going to the net front battles in front of our own net, in front of their net. Take guys like, Carrier has been doing it all year, but taking the puck to the net hard, I think it's paying off. You look at a lot of the goals, the one that goes off the Chicago D-man's knee and in, it's because there's traffic there. If our D-men shoot that puck and there's no battle there, it's an easy routine save for the goalie. So that net front presence is going to be huge coming down the stretch here.
Alex Pietrangelo didn't practice today, but just maintenance day. It looks like he's finding his range, getting those pucks through to the net. The Janmark tip in where it was funny the other day. I said, "Were you aiming for Janmark's stick?" And he said, "Yeah," but Janmark didn't even know he tipped it. So Petro thought he should get that goal. But a couple plays like that where pucks are starting to find lanes.
Yeah, it's I've been talking about they just need a bounce a lot of the time this season, but in a game like the last one, they got them, and hopefully that keeps going. They're getting those bounces and keeps going the rest of the way.
What do the Vegas Golden Knights need to do in the final 14 games? Well, it actually goes a bigger body of work than that. We started this with 21 games to go, and we'll dive into that as we continue right after this break. I want to tell you about the Dollar Loan Center in Henderson. It's just opened its doors to the public. It's a new arena. It's a brand new website as well, so visit thedollarloancenter.com for upcoming events, seating charts, arena policies, much more, including your chance to purchase tickets for upcoming events. And the Henderson Silver Knights will play their first game this weekend on April 2nd. And, of course, the Vegas Nighthawks, a couple of home games yesterday, just a nail-biter of a game. Visit thedollarloancenter.com to learn more. What a great facility that is. The Henderson Silver Knights actually practiced there for the first time today. We'll take a break, and we'll come back and tell you over the final 21 games what the Vegas Golden Knights are looking at to try and qualify for this Stanley Cup postseason in 2022. You're listening to Nighttime at Noon on Fox Sports Las Vegas. Working on a bit of a treat for you here on Nighttime at Noon. We'll get to that in just a second. Daren Millard along with Deryk Engelland from Studio 31 at City National Arena, coming off a sparkling comeback by the Vegas Golden Knights on Saturday against the Chicago Blackhawks, in which Vegas scored 4 goals in the third period and then won it getting to Donov in overtime. So we started this little experiment or setup with 21 games to go, and thought, okay, the Golden Knights need 12 to 13 wins in the final 21 games to get to 94 points, 93 points. So it just happened that it was 21 games to go. It was perfect. It was 3 series, best of 7 series, so you get those going into the run. You have to win 3 series going down the stretch. They just won the first series 4 games to 3 as it worked out. So we're on pace right now, which is perfect. And with, I would say, the second, the middle series, 7 games, should be if it's not like a lock where you must beat up on these teams, it's the next best thing.
Yeah, this next 7 games. It's you can keep your season going, or if you throw up some goose eggs, it's could be over. You can't lose to teams coming up.
Right.
You lose to Seattle. That's going to be daggers. But you lose to Vancouver, and they're creeping up. So 3 points behind. They lose that one to Vancouver, and they're 1 point back with a game in hand. So they're must wins at this point, and this next 7-game segment will be a big one.
They won 4 of the first 7, so now they get Seattle twice, Vancouver 3 times, and Arizona once to start off the first 6 games of the 7-game stretch, and then things get a little tougher. Let's slide over and talk about the Henderson Silver Knights. Big practice today at the Dollar Loan Center. First time that they've been in that facility, but that's not the reason for our next guest. Isaiah Saville joins us. Goaltender with the Henderson Silver Knights, a draft pick of the Vegas Golden Knights, joining the organization. Congratulations on your professional debut. Before we get into this, Isaiah, I come from Canada, and we say your name differently out west than we do out east, and I want to get the pronunciation right from you as far as how we say the last name.
It's Saville.
Okay. Because Saville is the way that I've always pronounced it, and I didn't want to just default to that. So Saville. Hey, congratulations. How are you, and what do you think of Vegas?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing really well. It's been a kind of a wild week and a half, I guess, now. But I'm settling in, and I'm enjoying it a lot. It's a great place to be, and I couldn't be happier.
Give us the lowdown of how things went from college at Nebraska to now joining the Henderson Silver Knights, and just the series of events that played into that.
Yeah, unfortunately lost in the first round of our conference tournament, so which was very unfortunate, and I think we deserved a lot better, and definitely didn't think we were going to get swept in the first round. But yeah, it was a crazy week last week or the week before, I guess, and fortunately got to sign my first contract and fly out here on Sunday, and then was on a bus to San Diego the next day. So haven't had a ton of time in Henderson/Vegas so far, but starting to settle in a lot more and get to know the guys a lot more, which is nice. Everyone was so welcoming, which makes it a lot easier to go from a college atmosphere to a professional atmosphere.
And then you get the game on Saturday, your professional debut. Did it feel different than college?
I felt comfortable. It was definitely different. It's kind of hard to explain what the differences were, but I felt good, and I was really happy to get my first professional start. And fortunately, had my parents and my best friend here and his parents. So it was a special moment for me and my family, and I'm really happy that it happened so soon.
Can you sort of take us into the nuances of the differences between college and professional?
Yeah, I think it's just a different game as far as the physicality is a little bit different. You get bumped around a little bit more as a goalie. In pro, I felt like than in college, and it's a different pace of game. It's a little bit, there's harder shots. It's a little bit quicker, and so definitely a little bit of adapting needs to be done, but I definitely didn't feel out of place, and I'm looking forward to getting better.
When did you feel comfortable in the game? Did you have butterflies for the first little bit?
Yeah, honestly, it wasn't too bad. I thought for sure I was going to be kind of jumping around a little bit, but just staying composed and calm, taking some deep breaths, as my mom likes to say. So that really helped me, and just remembering it's to have fun. I'm very fortunate that I'm able to be playing professional hockey now, and I think that's something that you really got to remember when through practices and games. That I'm really fortunate, and it's a lot of fun, and I made sure to enjoy my first experience.
Mom's advice right through to the professional debut. That's awesome from you. Why'd you make the decision to leave college now?
Yeah, I think I'm ready, or know I'm ready, and I'm excited for the new challenges and kind of the different atmosphere and feeling. I did 3 years at UNO, and I'm so grateful for the time that I got to spend there and all the opportunities that were there, and wouldn't have changed it for the world. But I think it was my time to move on, and nothing against college hockey or against UNO, as it's an amazing program, and they're going to continue to do great. But I think my time was now to kind of move into the professional scene and get my professional career started.
Isaiah Saville with us here on Nighttime at Noon. Daren Millard and former VGK defenseman Deryk Engelland also in Studio 31 with me. You were a fifth-round pick back in 2019, so you're familiar with the organization. Talk to me about the communication that you've had throughout your time since being drafted when you were at University of Nebraska Omaha.
Yeah, it's been incredible. I came for my first development camp right after the draft, and then I actually haven't been back since because of all the COVID protocols and stuff like that in college and stuff. But the communication has been great. It's been very direct and straightforward. So
who's been talking to you? Who's been the one to be in your ear and for you to bounce things off of?
Yeah, it's been Will Nickel. I talked to him a lot through college. He's been to a lot of my games, fortunately, and has spent a good amount of time in Omaha, which I'm hoping he liked it. But he was my main communication throughout college.
So, did you sign a PTO, professional tryout offer, or was it a contract for the rest of this year? I can't remember.
Yeah, I signed PTO for the rest of this year, and then an entry-level deal for the next 3.
Right. So there's so many things swirling around and with roster news. Forgive me on that. So you've got Patera and Thompson. The normal Golden Knights are Henderson Silver Knight goaltenders are up. Things are a little bit in flux. How much more time do you think you're going to get game action down the stretch here?
I'm not sure. I'm just kind of going with the flow. I know LT and Yuri are doing really well, and it's great to know them and get advice from them as well. So just kind of going with it, and it was nice kind of getting thrown into the fire early on and my while I'm here. So it's or since I've been here, I should say, and so just looking for my opportunities and capitalizing when I get them.
A couple of things that stand out about you. One, it looks like Southpaws are making a comeback here in professional hockey. You're another one, along with Logan Thompson. So there's that. Who was your role model growing up as somebody that catches as a right-hander?
One that comes to mind is Grant Fuhr. I think that's someone. I have one of his jerseys from the Oilers, so he's one that probably. I didn't really get to watch him play at all, so which is unfortunate. But I just always remember seeing pictures and stuff like that, and some stories from Freddie here that just kind of looked up to him.
Have you ever got to meet Grant?
I have not.
Okay, we'll got to set that up. We'll get on that.
That's on my bucket list.
We gotta make sure we make that happen. The other one is Anchorage. And then end up in professional hockey. Walk us through that journey and your childhood.
Yeah, Anchorage, Alaska, born and raised. So it's amazing being able to grow up there. It's a lot different than here in the lower 48, as we call it. So, but growing up in Alaska, there's so many opportunities, and some great goalies have come out of there, and including Swayman, who's obviously doing really well with Boston, and someone who I also look up to as a role model, as he's he's been a great guy to me and has offered a lot of guidance to me throughout my career of growing up in Anchorage. And so definitely wouldn't change that of just a great place to grow up as a kid as well, with all the outdoor activities and being able to really enjoy yourself with all the mountains and the hiking and stuff like that around there.
Are you a Swayman the same age?
No, he's a couple years older than me.
So it was you were like 2 years behind in minor hockey coming up. Swayman's the star rookie with the Boston Bruins, for those that don't follow the Bruins that closely.
Yeah, he's a few. We actually never got to play together or against each other, unfortunately. Hopefully that day will come. But yeah, he's a couple of years older than me.
Congratulations on the debut on Saturday, and I hope you got the game puck from that one. Great effort, a couple of goals, and then the empty there. But that was really, I can't imagine what the Butterflies would have been like there, and I love the mention of Mom with the deep breaths. Keep it going. Can't wait to run into you in person.
Thank you so much.
Isaiah Saville with the Henderson Silver Knights coming out of the University of Nebraska, Omaha, and making his first professional start on Saturday. And he was a fifth-round pick in 2019. Southpaw. There's all these southpaws popping up these days. Did you ever find it difficult to shoot on those guys?
I remember some games I'd get to the third period, get my first shot, and be like, "Oh, he catches the wrong hand." So there's lots of times I had no idea. I didn't scout the goalies that are in. I didn't score very often. So there's a few times that I hate to say that, but yeah, a couple times. Oh shoot, we come down, have a shot, and gonna go high glove, and it's his block. Oh no!
What am I gonna do here? That's the pretty. Dylan Ferguson is out right now, so they're really leaning on their depth right now. And he talked about turning professional at the right time with Patera and Thompson up, Brossois and Leonard out right now. Might get a few bonus starts down the stretch, and also get used to the area, right? He hadn't been here since his first development camp, so that's really cool. And speaking of the Henderson Silver Knights, if you need more hockey, check them out. Their first game at the Dollar Loan Center is coming up on Saturday, and can't wait for that. Single game, group, mini suite tickets for all home games during the season are available now. Get into the Dollar Loan Center, watch the Henderson Silver Knights, get a feel for the building, and then sign up for next year. Contact the Henderson Silver Knights ticketing team, 702-645-4259. Ango and I just walked through the ticketing department on our way over here, and they're going like gangbusters right now. Or visit hendersonsilverknights.com to learn more. We've got some great stories to tell you about from the league coming up next, and including a game that Engelland just couldn't turn off on the weekend for spectacular and crazy reasons. It's nighttime at noon on Fox Sports Las Vegas. Sports fans, be one of the first to join the Vegas Nighthawks family. Secure your seat selection priority today by placing a refundable $20 deposit. Nighthawks football or nighthawksfoot.com. I thought it was football. Full season membership will start at just $10 per ticket per game at Dollar Loan Center, the Dollar Loan Center in Henderson. Check it out. That's going to be a lot of fun. Dropped a close one yesterday against the Tucson Sugar Seals. Kicker wasn't very good.
No. I heard Gary talking, missed a few points in the first half.
Yeah. Couple.
I want to take the boys to the game. Seems like
I'll go with
a lot
you.
of fun, yeah. Get 'em
Let me
down,
know.
Try to sit down low.
Let's do it.
Yeah. We had
Talk to
we had
people.
birthday parties on Sunday, so we couldn't go to that game. It would have been a perfect game. It was in the afternoon, right?
Yeah, the Dollar Loan Center is where they play all the games, and the Henderson Silver Knights play their first game on Saturday. But I've been talking to some people, like, where do you want to sit for indoor football? I know where I want to sit for hockey. I actually don't mind the end. Down low at the end to look down the ice is one of my favorite spots to sit for a hockey game. But football, I've been going back and forth, and doesn't sound like there's because it's so intimate in that facility that there's a bad seat. But like middle of the lower bowl, or right on the sidelines is kind of. But if you're down low, if you're really down low, Engo, there's a tip for the boys. And they overthrow a receiver.
You got to catch it.
You get to keep the ball too.
Yeah.
So you might walk out of there with a football too.
Yeah, you got to. I don't know, center.
Center.
It might be fun.
End
but
zone though.
Young kids though. Some of those guys are probably jumping into the stands to catch balls. No.
Oh, come on, take a hit. You got to learn how to take a hit, right?
No, like if a ball's overthrown, a catch, it lands on top of you.
That'd be cool too.
That'd be all right.
Get to be part of the celebration.
Not if you're a kid. It might hurt the kid, but I have to throw the shoulder out and protect him a little bit. But no, I definitely want to go. I've been to one before in Wilkes-Barre, but we sat up high.
Yeah.
We got tickets, and it's entertaining.
Were you in a
it's
suite?
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew
But
you'd be
I
in
like
a suite.
it. Oh,
I knew you'd be in a suite.
It's the only thing they gave us. It's the only one thing we could get. But no, for hockey games, I like the corner and a higher up. I don't like
You
as
do?
low. Yeah.
Like where we sit for the AT&T games?
Not quite that high.
No, you got to be a little bit lower.
little
but
bit
that's sort of the angle.
Yeah.
That's good.
The corner, I like. You don't have to, your neck's not sore after looking both ways all the time.
Right. Henderson Silver Knights first game on Saturday, and you made a great point as we were just talking coming back on the air. Isaiah Saville closes down the Orleans Arena with the Henderson Silver Knights, and he might get to open up the Dollar Loan Center.
Yeah, that's two huge things. Getting a first taste of pro career here, and closes one building, opens up a brand new one. So, that's exciting for him. And I also said it'd be good for him to come up for the last little bit of this and get used to. In college you play Friday, Saturday, and you practice all week. So getting those 3-4 games in a week in, it won't take him half a next year to get used to the schedule. He's used to it a little bit.
We have a couple of games that I want to touch on. One is Pittsburgh scored 11 goals yesterday against the Detroit Red Wings. Just an admission here, I looked at my phone and saw, when I look at my phone, I need to hold it far away or get my readers on. I thought it was 2-1 Detroit. I thought, oh, good for Detroit. They've been scuffling a little bit. They beat Pittsburgh 2-1. Then I found out that it wasn't a 1. It was an 11. Malkin,
might need new readers.
Yeah, I might need I actually didn't have them, so it was like, I just got to get them closer to me. Malkin was so good. Yeah, like just hammering the puck.
Yeah, I think the most points a guy had was 3.
Yeah.
Which I thought 11-2, guys like Sid.
But 16 guys had points.
Yeah. But, I'm sure Sid and those guys didn't play nearly as much as they normally do. But still, even you look at the Calgary game, Gaudreau had 5 assists. Draisaitl had 3 goals on the losing end. But, you put up 11, you think someone had 4, 5, 6 points. But I thought it was crazy to see top guy only had 3.
11-2, it was Pittsburgh over the Detroit Red Wings. And then you mentioned referenced the Calgary-Edmonton game on Saturday, and that ended up being 9-5. You take away Edmonton's 3 power play goals, 5-on-5, it was a 9-2 game because Calgary didn't score any goals on the man advantage. I keep thinking Edmonton's going to be there. Edmonton's going to be fine, and then that kind of thing happens. I don't know whether it's just Calgary being great or what, but
Yeah, they're the same issue they've had all year. Talking about, I thought goaltending.
But it wasn't goaltending on Saturday. Did you think the goaltending was bad?
They probably could have came up with a save early on. But your D need to do something too, and that's been another thing for them. You score 5 goals in a game, you should win 95% of the time. It was a fun game to watch as a fan. I grew up watching the Battle of Alberta. I was a big Edmonton fan growing up. My whole family was, except for in '88. I did win $5 against my grandpa when Calgary won the cup against Edmonton there
in '89.
In '89, yeah. I bet him $5 Calgary
Really?
would win, yeah, and I won. And then obviously I played in Calgary, so I got to see it from that side too. So it was always fun watching and being part of it.
Do you have any fights in the Battle of Alberta?
Did I?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I fought Gazdig, Luch.
Oh.
Yeah, a couple.
You fought Luch too?
A couple times.
Wow. Because those fights just seem to have a little bit extra oomph to them.
Yeah.
In the Battle of Alberta.
Yeah, you always. If there's any toughness in there, you're looking early. I remember asking Luch off the opening draw of one game early when he got traded there. I think it might have been the first game of the year. And I think McDavid seen me. He was taking the draw. So I'm looking at Luch to drop the gloves, and he goes forward with it and almost roasts by me because I'm looking to fight, and he sees me asking him. So the smarts of that guy, pushes it through and just about gets a breakaway off me. So he ended up going into the end wall, and Luch came to fight after he got the chance. So it was interesting.
Sneaky of Connor, isn't it?
Hey, that's why he's one of the best smart guys like that.
Doesn't miss much
No.
there. We'll be back nighttime at noon. Gives way to the Insider Show at 4 o'clock. We'll get to all your questions and comments then, because quite frankly, Deryk and I were enjoying our conversation too much. For all of us, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to Nighttime at Noon, your home of the Vegas Golden Knights.